So it's 2023. You're looking to go somewhere, maybe stay close to home, and you don't want to spend that much money, at least you think you're not gonna. So I'm gonna take you through Montreal. It's 2023. It's after the cough. How much should things actually cost? We're also gonna talk about adult entertainment. Okay, once again, that could be prevalent in this particular region. We're also gonna talk about food. We're gonna talk about training and all other things that fall in between, because once again, this channel is about lifestyle enhancement, and I think you're gonna get something out of it. So Montreal 2023, let's see what we got. So as everyone knows, I always talk about money. So the first thing we're gonna do is that how much does it actually cost you to get to Montreal? And then what are all the incidentals that you're gonna need even before you start your trip, either with your significant other, or you're here with the boys, or you're doing a solo backpack kind of vacation. So now, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you the airfare. I flew Air Canada, which is for me, who is based in New York, as well as Southeast Asia. It's an hour and a half. It's a quick hit. It's a quick flight. One thing right off the bat I do not recommend regarding their hard product of flying is that you're silly to book business class for an hour and a half flight. It's obviously a little bit of a look at me, and all they really do is they give you a breakfast. I mean, if you can't wait 2 hours to go eat, once again, you know that these are other issues that I'll address probably on another video. So all I'm trying to say is that it's probably about an extra $150 on top of what I'm going to show you now regarding your airfare. So this is the airfare from an hour and a half from New York, which is LaGuardia Airport, to Montreal, which is Ewell. Okay. So now what we have going forward is that you're probably going to need a rental car for the duration of your stay in Montreal. Now, a lot of you want to use the metro, you want to do cabs, and that's fine. But all I'm trying to say is that even though the rentals are expensive, there is Uber out here. But as you know, with Uber anywhere, it's going to add up depending on where you want to go and what you want to do. So you should have the liberty, in my opinion, to get a rental car. It doesn't have to be the best one for the duration that you're here. So now also another thing to consider is that where are you going to stay? So I'm going to show you the hotel and how much that costs. Okay, so this is going to be the beginning phases of your trip in Montreal. All right, so now that we got housekeeping out of the way, which means the incidentals to kind of get yourself going, let's talk about food. If you're someone who's a foodie, they have some of the best food in the world in Montreal, from their burgers, their breakfast, and also their nightlife, which is, if you go to Montreal or central Montreal, it's comparable to Soho, New York. It has that kind of vibe. And once again, it's a beautiful, beautiful landscape if you're interested in taking your photography, etc. So now we have the food, and once again, the prices are comparable to Manhattan or a Soho price. And once again, you're working with the Canadian dollar. So the American dollar at this point, which is in 2023, is strong. Believe it or not, even with the inflation, which means fresh squeezed oranges and Whole Foods is about $18. Once again, that's a conversation for another day. So when we have food, once again, if you want to come down here and you want to basically put on weight, this is a great place to do it. And I don't recommend staying any longer than 3 days because you're going to want to eat everything, which also will coincide. If it's a little colder down here, you have a little bit more of a tendency to eat. Okay, so once again, the food, incredible. I'm going to give it 5 stars overall. So here we got Atlantis Gym. Now, if we talk about products regarding training, they have some of the best products, and they also have unique equipment. And the way I'm going to rate a gym and the way I'm going to break it down for you when we travel is I'm going to do things in a 5-star rating. So the first thing we're going to do is that friendliness. When I walked in, I'm going to give it 5 stars. Even sometimes when you're in Montreal, where they speak primarily French, but they also speak English, they will address you in French, and they will kind of look at you in disgust when you don't speak French and you only speak English. This is just through my experience, but they're still pretty cool about it. So it was $15 per day on a day pass. It either falls between 12 American or 15 American, just for you to enter on one day. Okay, so if you're looking to come down and train in a superior facility, it's about $15. So, I show you the pictures from inside, great place. When it comes to cleanliness, it was a 5. Also, the bathrooms, I know sometimes it's weird that I talk about the bathrooms, but if you're someone who is constantly in the gym and you always, some people are homeless and they live in the gym, is that the showers were pretty clean and had a sauna. I didn't go in, but I would say that overall the locker room setup looked safe and it was clean. So I'm going to give also cleanliness, I'm going to give it 5 stars. So when it comes to the cardio section, I'm going to have to give it 4 stars. The only reason why is that they had kind of what you needed, but it wasn't a very expansive layout regarding cardio equipment. And some of the equipment was antiquated, but once again, it wasn't a terrible cardio section, but I've seen better. And once again, I'm very strict when I rate a gym because I've been to a ton of them throughout my lifetime. So I've pretty much seen it all. And when it comes to the layout of the gym, now keep in mind, this place is inundated with every piece of equipment you can think of. So once again, I think they're trying to put a 20-pound sausage in a 10-pound sack. So when it comes to the layout, I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. But once again, incredible amount of equipment. And once again, if you're into gym hopping or going to different gyms, I mean, you want to talk about candy? This got a ton of candy in there. I can't see you getting bored of training. And if I lived in Montreal, I understand that there's Pure Muscle and Fitness, but keep in mind, if you understand your geography, Montreal is about an hour and a half by plane to Hamilton, Ontario, where Pure Muscle and Fitness is based. So depending on where you want to live, this is more comparable to New York. And I'm not really sure what goes on in Ontario. I'm not necessarily familiar just yet. So now, when it comes back to the gym, regarding the talent, okay, if you understand what that means, if not, ask a friend. The talent, my friends, was A5. Okay, so there was a lot of Lululemons, there was a lot of spandex, and all I could say is that I went at 7 o'clock at night, which I don't usually do, but as you know, that is prime time. And once again, 5 stars, quite impressive. Okay, so now I also will rate a gym for some of you, depending on what you're into. What was the level of juice puppy in there, or people roided out of their mind? Once again, this is a bodybuilding gym, so I'm also going to have to give that 5 stars. When it comes to the vibe, once again, quiet. Everyone's doing their own thing, and everyone's training pretty hard. I didn't see anybody do anything crazy, and everyone's pretty much doing their own thing. And once again, great training place. The headphones were on, and I was doing my thing as well. So sometimes when you train in a lot of different gyms, you get kind of spoiled, because this particular place, when I say that it had unique pieces, I'm pretty sure that in your hometown or where you're based, maybe they have 1 or 2 of these kind of pieces, but this place had it all. So once again, I'm going to give 5 stars for unique pieces. And like I said, it's pretty much their whole catalog is here in Atlantis Gym, which is pretty much the flagship gym of Montreal. And actually, it's based in a place called Laval, which is Laval, if I'm not pronouncing it correctly. And once again, I'll put the address up on the screen. So overall, if you want to train in a great place, you have Atlantis Gym, which is a hop, skip, and a jump by rental car in Laval, okay, outside of Montreal. Also keep in mind, though, if you want to maybe stay a little closer, and they have chains of something called a Nautilus Plus Gym. Now, just keep in mind, if this gym, and once again, I'm going to rate Atlantis in a little bit, the Nautilus Gym is about a 3.5. And once again, I'm being very strict, but you could get the job done there. It's not necessarily an issue. But once again, if you're into your training and you're into a facility, then you would have to go to Atlantis Gym. And I'm going to give Atlantis Gym in the worldwide rankings of coffee and juice, it is a 4.7 on the Richter scale of ratings when it comes to a gym. So I highly recommend it. And once again, I'm very, very strict when it comes to gyms. And all I could say is that it's a great place if you're out of town and you are in Montreal or close by. So I recently spoke about your fitness or your training, but now a lot of people have the proclivity to try to enjoy adult entertainment. Okay, so now what is very big out here, and I'll show you a couple of places that I photographed. I've been in Montreal a couple of times, and I'm not saying I frequent these kind of places, but this is obviously me trying to educate you. So now, if there's something called a Nuru massage. Now, if you're not familiar with what that is that it's basically a body-to-body gel massage, and that's pretty much where the action ends, if you understand what I'm saying. So once again, I'm sure you'll pretty much leave happy from these neuro gel massages. And once again, that is prevalent here in Montreal and also in Canada. And it seems to be legal establishments regarding that. And obviously, if you want to kick it up a notch, I'm sure if you get on the Google, you can find things that may be available to you regarding that. So when it comes to adult entertainment, there's also a lot of strip clubs. And I believe with the strip clubs out here is that you can actually touch, which in certain regions or in certain countries, it's pretty much a look-only policy and tip. So once again, if you're out here with the boys and you want to make a trip out of it, so basically we covered training, we covered adult entertainment, or once again, sourcing out the local culture. If this was a Southeast Asian conversation, I'd be calling you a monger right now. And once again, I'll put that definition up on the screen. So now we went over how much things will cost you. We went over the food situation. We went over the training. And once again, we went over the adult entertainment. Now, I'm pretty sure if you tune into other channels, you'll see somebody with a gimbal taking pictures with a telescopic lens on the scenery here. Once again, very, very nice fresh air out in Canada. So look, hopefully you got something out of this walkthrough, and we're gonna do it many, many places because this is a lifestyle channel. I would appreciate you liking and subscribing because once again, more subscribers, more latitude I have to explore things. So basically coffee and juice, I'm doing the legwork so you don't have to. Thanks, I'll talk to you soon.